on your side. This is News 12, first at 5.
A week-long manhunt in South Carolina finally coming to an end. The man wanted for 4 different murders, now behind bars. But first, as schools let out for the summer and the temperatures keep on rising, more and more people are heading out to the river or the lake. A year into the pandemic, you might be more eager than ever to get out on the water. Our Sydney Heiberger joins us now live along the river. And Sydney, officials say we all need to be extra careful.
Meredith, exactly. Already this year, Georgia has seen 12 drownings. 5 of them have happened in the CSRA alone in the past month, and summer hasn't even started yet. Georgia DNR tells me they expect to see a huge crowd on the water for Memorial Day weekend. In fact, they tell me many local boat rental companies and dealerships have seen a huge uptick in sales, and after more than a year of staying indoors, they say people are just flocking to get their boats serviced. But of course, excitement can sometimes turn into feelings of invincibility, and even the most experienced swimmers can fall prey to getting shocked, panicked, or tired in the water.
A lot of times when you end up in the water, the whole atmosphere and the temperature of the water, it can cause you to panic. And that's typically what happens with a drowning is the victim panics.
And right now, DNR tells me the temperature in the river is about 68 to 74 degrees. In the lakes, it could be much warmer than that on the surface. Another issue here, though, is measuring distance. DNR says it can be very hard to kind of gauge the distance in the water. And there is one factor, they tell me, that a lot of these drownings we've seen here locally have had in common. And tonight on News 12 at 6 o'clock, we're going to hear what that is.
All right, thank you, Sydney. That could serve as a warning for others. And Riley, certainly, though, we can expect a lot of people will want to hit the water this week based on these near-record temps.
Absolutely. We are seeing the hottest afternoon.
Your job could be at risk in just a few years.
But first up this evening, after another drowning this weekend, we've now seen 5 people die in local waterways in just a month.
This has been a tough month, and the number sounds pretty shocking when you hear it, but we wanted to check, is it normal to see this many drownings this early in the year? Sydney Heiberger live at the 5th Street Marina for us. And Sydney, you talked to DNR. Summer hasn't officially even started yet, so are they worried about the number?
Yeah, Lori, to be honest with you, they are. In the state so far, there have been 12 drownings, and as you mentioned, 5 of them have come from the CSRA alone. 4 of those have happened in Clarks Hill Lake. That's compared to no drownings in Clarks Hill Lake last year. The rules aren't new.
One of the most important things that we want people to do when they're around water, anybody, even if you're an Olympic swimmer, we want you to have a life jacket.
But an uptick in recent drownings indicates more people are getting back outside after a long year cooped up.
As human beings, we need our recreation time.
In fact, Georgia DNR says boat rental companies and dealerships are selling so often, it's hard for them to keep boats in stock. But getting back on the water doesn't mean getting reckless.
With these incidents we've had, with some of the interviews that we did, we found that there was some alcohol use. Not all of them, but some of them.
In Georgia, you are allowed to have alcohol on the water so long as you have a sober operator. But even without alcohol, the most experienced swimmers are prone to emergencies.
A lot of times when you end up in the water, the whole atmosphere and the temperature of the water, it can cause you to panic.
As we venture outside, as we enjoy these hot temperatures, as we return to life as we remember it, it's also important to remember safety comes first. So there does need to be a life jacket on a boat for every single person. Kids under 13 need to have that on at all times. But DNR recommends that if you're not in a swimming area where you can stand up, it is always safest to wear that at all times.
All right, Sydney, thank you. And one of those drowning victims is Lieutenant Ralph Jenkins, the longtime firefighter, died at Clarks Hill Lake Friday. The Columbia County dive team says he drowned trying to save a woman who was in the water. Today, we spoke with some of Lieutenant Jenkins' colleagues who say he was a mentor to every single firefighter on the team.
He has touched every single person at this department. Somehow, he helped some of the people that were just, you thought would never make it in this career, and their life was, he's made it, and he's a true fireman.
Coming up at 11 o'clock, we're going to hear more about the impact Lieutenant Jenkins had on the Augusta community, and it is clear, talking to the people who knew him, it was a big impact.
You can see it clearly there. Going to give you a live look outside now. The Augusta. Well, from school and doctor's visits to work and workout classes, we've done it all virtually for more than a year now.
Technology is kind of like going during the pandemic, but it's also changed life at home and at work. The pandemic accelerated the use of AI in the workforce, and as Liz Owens found, it is transforming the future of jobs everywhere.
A report by World Economic Forum found that nearly half of all workers will need some upskilling or reskilling in just 4 years because of advances in technology. That's no matter the resume or the industry.
A tap, a swipe, your order is now being prepared. A couple clicks and zoom into work. Meet Dr. Peter Bluestone.
The trends in technology and use of technology have been accelerated because it's really helped people to work and continue to be productive without putting their health at risk.
Bluestone is a senior research associate with the Fiscal Research Center and Center for State and Local Finance at Georgia State University.
There's a lot of confusion about exactly what AI is. So in our research, we tend to look at advanced technologies.
He studies the impact of artificial intelligence, or AI, in the workforce.
When we think about AI, and we tend to think about, it's more than just automation, right? It's more than just a machine doing a mechanical process. We tend to think of, this is something that, for lack of a better term, can do some thinking and some reasoning. And so we are seeing some of that involved in, we think about consumer finance and banking, healthcare.
Angela Allen works at AU. Has the pandemic accelerated the use with AI? Absolutely. One of the benefits of artificial intelligence is speed. Saving doctors valuable time as COVID began to fill hospitals. We've been using these AI technologies to actually comb through the medical record in a way that used to take a provider weeks to comb through. In turn, speeding up clinical trials and treatment times for patients. What we want to do is provide more information and reduce the workload of the physicians, so the physicians can more easily assess the patient and then have more face-to-face time with the patient. In the medical field, AI is saving lives. In other fields, AI is killing jobs.
One of the leading jobs that's going to be impacted is hospitality.
The I team analyzed this study published by Georgia State University. We found office and administrative, sales, food preparation and serving, transportation and production jobs have more than a 70% chance of automation. These occupations account for more than half of all jobs in Georgia. We found the workers most at risk are those in restaurants. More than 20,000 people work in that industry here in Augusta. A staggering 87% of them will have their jobs possibly cut because of AI. Touchscreen menus are already cutting down the need for order takers. And McDonald's is even experimenting with a smart burger flipper. Our I-team research found this will deeply impact low-income workers who only earn about $20,000 a year. The blog Artificial Solutions states the findings thus imply that as technology races ahead, low-skill workers will reallocate to tasks that are non-susceptible to computerization. For workers to win the race, however, they will have to acquire creative and social skills. But even some skilled jobs are at risk too. 16% of healthcare jobs statewide could go automated. Does this mean that healthcare jobs could be going away?
And so I think the short answer to that is no, that's not something that we fear in the immediacy. And the reason for that is that while this creates an opportunity for the physician to reduce their time of reviewing those thousands of charts, it still requires the physician to go in and actually agree that that was an appropriate selection for the patient to join the clinical trial.
When a computer system does a certain job, that frees up a person to do another job that the computer's not very good at.
Jobs characterized by soft skills, including management, counseling, and the arts. Skills in need of a human touch, not a touch screen.
So, best way to prepare for the future. Bluestone says the government, local and state, and private businesses need to partner to train employees for the upcoming changes. Liz Owens, on your side.
So interesting. So we need to focus on the jobs that computers are not good at doing.
Yeah, I guess. But you know, you and I saw that, was it in Japan? They had a hologram news anchor.
Yes, they did.
Yeah. I dare that hologram news anchor to say Tolliver or Hepzibah.
It can all be programmed.
Yeah.
You know, technology changed the way we build cars. It changed the way we ran our factories. So it's just the next wave of change.
You gotta adapt and find something you do better than the computer.
The list is shrinking by the day.
Smaller
I'm afraid.
and smaller list.
It is getting hot in the two-state, and the computer told us that. With near record-breaking temperatures coming our way, Richmond County is reopening all the cooling centers.
Yes, can't avoid a few isolated showers the next couple of afternoons, but generally just sunny and hot.
Doctors at AU are researching how they can improve kidney transplants for hundreds of patients patiently waiting their turn.
Our Will Rio introduces us to one teenager who's been waiting for 3 years now, and how the community is stepping up to help search for a donor.
It's been a long road for Parker McDaniel.
I just wanted to be kind of like a normal 20-year-old.
At just 18 months old, his kidney failed, and his dad was a perfect match to donate. But 3 years ago, things went south again.
I got put on dialysis at 17, and I've been on it for 3 years and been looking for a kidney for that long.
That's where social media comes into play. Parker's stepmom reached out to the community for help, and in just 2 weeks, more than 2,400 shares and hundreds of comments of people saying they'll get tested to see if they can donate.
You see that many people are willing to share. It touches our hearts, and we're just hoping that one of those people that decides to go get tested will be a perfect match for him so he can start living his own life.
But here locally, kidney transplants were not even happening. Because of the pandemic, all elective surgeries stopped and visitors were limited.
Someone going through such a big surgery, being able to have family or loved ones around is huge.
But seeing the community come together for a complete stranger is a sign of hope.
He gives people hope. He gives us hope. It's just been a huge blessing too, in a way.
In Thompson, Will Rio, on your side.
The family says they've raised more than $100,000 for the National Kidney Foundation to help people like Parker.
Of course, we have a lot more information about how you can get tested too on our website. Okay, just ahead, after the success of the NAIA National Championship.